Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us, Illinois. We get to talk. We get to talk at the end of a legislative session, which is normally really, really bad news. And I would characterize this year as, well, certainly not good news. You expect that, though. You're out in Illinois. But they didn't do a whole lot to you, but we are going to talk about what they have done. Now, maybe they didn't do a lot to you because there may not be much left out there to take from you. But let's get you all up to speed so you can understand what's really happening and when it happens. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about meet Illinois' new gun laws. Okay, America, if you don't live in Illinois, you hop on the misery train because those folks out there, nobody gets treated worse by their state government than the state of Illinois, who somehow or another, as at least it relates to Second Amendment issues, managed to remain mildly unscathed this year, which is a huge accomplishment out in the state of Illinois. Only 2 gun bills were signed by Governor Pritzker. One is Senate Bill 0008. We're going to call it Senate Bill 8. The other one is House Bill 1373. We're really only going to spend time talking about Senate Bill 8. House Bill 1373 really is more directed at law enforcement and putting firearms into trace systems that have been found at crime scenes and things like that. It is Senate Bill 8 that's going to affect you, the lawful and responsible gun-owning Illinois resident. Okay. This bill, very long, very wordy, amends a bunch of statutes, but it really essentially does 3 things, okay? 2 of which are going to matter greatly to you. The first thing it does is it amends your safe storage laws, okay? And that's found in 720 ILCS 524-9. Couple of big things. Number 1, the vulnerable people, or who were considered to be susceptible people that the statute would apply to, is if you had people under the age of 14 in your premise. Now it is under the age of 18, so it adds to that category of vulnerable people. The second thing, and this is the important thing, is what it does is it actually removes one of the options you had for safe storage, which means it now limits or really mandates in many ways how you have to store it. Okay, so the way it used to work in Illinois is that if a firearm had been accessed by a child or an unauthorized person and then something terrible had happened, you would be on the liability hook for that unless the firearm was 1, secured by a device or mechanism other than the firearm safety designed to render a firearm temporarily inoperable, or 2, placed in a securely locked box or container, or 3, placed in some other location that a reasonable person would believe to be secure from a minor under the age of 14 years. But that third option is now removed from the statute, which means if you have people under the age of 18 in your house and a firearm is accessed and there is bad things that happen, you will be on the criminal liability hook unless the firearm was 1, secured by a device or mechanism other than the firearm safety designed to render a firearm temporarily inoperable, or 2, placed in a securely locked box or container. Translation, you're going to have a trigger lock or something like that on it, or it's got to be locked away in a safe. Okay, the second thing it does, and this is really spread all throughout this bill, is it changes the requirements of when you have to report a lost or stolen firearm. Current Illinois law is 72 hours. When this bill goes into effect, it will be 48 hours. This amends 720 ILCS 524-4.1. It also is going to require FFLs to continuously warn people, if this firearm is lost or stolen, you have 48 hours to report it to the Illinois State Police. It will require that you be warned when you take your firearm safety courses, when you get your FOIDs, when you get your concealed carry licenses. Literally any interaction you have with the state of Illinois related to firearms, or any private FFL related to firearms, will always come with a warning that you have 48 hours to report a lost or stolen firearm. Then the statute is also amended to add additional requirements of information that you will be mandated by law to report, which includes 1, the date the firearm was lost or stolen. 2, the exact location where the firearm was lost or stolen, or if the exact location is not known, the last known location of the firearm. 3, the caliber, make, model, and serial number of the firearm. 4, a description of the circumstances under which the firearm was lost or stolen. And 5, the firearm owner's identification card number or the person making the report, if applicable. Now, they say failure to do this twice in a period of time would result in revocation of the FOID card, but Illinois, you know how your state works, and I candidly think that any one instance of this could result in some kind of action against your FOID card. The bottom line is you, like in any other state, do not want to lose or have your firearm stolen. And then finally, and this one probably will not affect any of you in the state of Illinois, and I'm not certain how it's going to reconcile with federal law, the safe passage provisions of the Firearm Owners Protection Act. But apparently, amendments to 720 ILCS 524-3B, firearms trafficking, which now also makes the following activity illegal under Illinois state law, brings or causes to be brought into this state in a vehicle on an expressway in this state more than one firearm prohibited from possession by section 24-1.9 per occupants of the vehicle. And so what does that mean if you're just happen to be traveling through the state of Illinois to another state? Do you have to get off the expressway, cross into the state on a surface street? You see what I mean? It's a terrible piece of legislation, and one that I say is in conflict with the Firearm Owners Protection Act and the safe passage provisions therein. Okay, Illinois, the effective date of all of this legislation, January 1st of 2026. Like I say, I think the real big thing is the safe storage provisions. And again, you need to be aware that if you do lose or have a firearm stolen, you have 48 hours and you will need to provide much greater information. It is Senate Bill 8. We're going to link it up down below so that you don't have to take our word for it. You can geek out on it for yourself. Now listen, if you got any questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. But if you don't, that's okay. That information is down there in the description box. If you got an idea for a video, you click on that link and you tell us all about it. If you want to subscribe to the monthly newsletter, you check that information out in the description box. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.
Therein lies why we say in the legal defense sector that we are the most value-centered, cost-effective legal defense in the space, and we are. There's no question. Now, again, I've said before, we've got great competitors out there. They have outstanding products. We admire them. They pave the way for us. You know, we analyze the folks out there that are doing the same thing we're doing, and we took some great ideas from them, and we went down a path of believing that we were going to do it with a service aspect, a servant's heart, and we have again. Our number one goal has been to serve others first in a way that the industry hasn't seen.
Right to bear, that's right, legal protection for self-protection. Listen, good lawyers aren't cheap, cheap lawyers aren't good. You're not truly prepared unless you have right to bear back you. You will always get an attorney-answered hotline, so you will always have a confidential phone call. There are no cap limits for either civil or criminal defense. This covers all forms of self-defense. So from a fist to a firearm, from a fat lip to a dead body, you are covered, and you will have some of the nation's most passionate 2A attorneys in your corner fighting for you. And right now, if you visit my friends at protectwithbear.com and you use the promo code WGL, you will receive 10% off. Listen, you need to protect yourself so that you can protect them. Visit my good friends at protectwithbear.com.